Welcome back to another episode of A Girl Business Podcast. Today we are in Tehama, did I say that right? Yeah. Tehama County, and I am with Des and Linda, two historians. And you may recognize Linda from the episode about the Kelly Griggs House Museum.
Yes.
So excited to have you back, excited to meet you. And these ladies are very passionate about the community and the historical culture, and they are very involved in various organizations and boards. So I can't wait to hear all about it. And yeah, where would you girls, I guess Des, we'll start with you and how you got involved in, or today we're at the museum, but how you just kind of became involved in history.
Oh, well, my grandfather was very interested in learning about his past because he had been adopted and found out that his biological father was from Norway. And so he wanted to know more about that, and going through all the documents and stuff, found out he came from Norway in the late 1800s and went to Jelly's Ferry and settled there. And then the family's just been here ever since. And learning about all of that and sharing it with me got me involved. And I've always just been really fascinated by history.
And Jelly's Ferry is just north of us here. It's an area here in Tehama County.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm already learning new things.
So that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So did that start when you were young? That interest?
Yes. And then my 8th grade history class, learning about ancient Egypt, because I had not known much about it before that, but then getting involved in that and learning, it was so fascinating. And so now it just kind of spiraled from there.
And then how did you end up on the board? And you're on the board for the Genealogy Society?
Yes.
Okay, how did that come about?
Well, my mother-in-law had bought this piece of land and it had an old shed on it, and she found a chest and she was going to throw it away, but my husband was like, we should go through it. And so he brought it home, and it was from this man who was a train conductor in the early 1900s during World War I, I believe it was. And it was all the letters that he had ever written, and he would write little things on the side of it, like why he's getting that letter and the backstory behind it. And it was his uniform. It was like everything, like his whole history was in this chest, and it was special. And so we didn't know what to do with it. I had emailed the Historical Society and hadn't gotten any response, or I think it was Kelly Griggs actually, hadn't gotten any response. And so when I went to the Man Napa Festival, I ran into the Historical Society and I talked to them, and it just kind of went from there. And I joined and started volunteering.
Imagine if she would have thrown it away.
Oh my gosh, this chest is beautiful.
For Joseph Roberts is the name of the train conductor, and in it there are the train conductor books and accident reports, all kinds of
everything.
Things. Yeah.
He got letters. So during World War I, Australia, some of their military had come over to California, and he was the one who transported them secretly into Canada before America or Canada were even involved in the war yet, that they were bringing their troops over, and it was all hush-hush, and he was the one secretly transporting them. And he made friends, and they were sending him letters with pictures, and all of that was there. And then he, on the side of it, was like explaining why he has this letter and the backstory of the men that sent it to him.
That's a significant piece of history because that's not a mainstream piece.
No, right. It's a fairly unknown thing, and it's all right there in that chest, and so many different things about it.
Have you seen it, Linda? Were you like hyped out, like, oh my God, this is awesome?
Get way too hyped up. No, she did. She donated it to the Historical Society. I'm also on the board here with the Tehama Museum, and so our Historical Society doesn't have a museum. We have an annex, and we do a lot of things online, and then we work with this museum and we'll show things here. So they had a planes, trains, and automobiles display, and so Mr. Roberts' trunk was on loan to the museum here so it could be shown with other things. And this, not being this building, this is the annex, the museum's the next building over. But anyway, so yes, I have seen it, and it's just like stepping into the past.
So we went through it. My youngest son really loves history, and so he really enjoyed everything and going through all the letters and reading them. And we had just a great time going through it. And I wanted to keep it, but I also knew that it was important. So that's why I gave it to them.
Did you keep like one letter or something?
Pen. There is multiple of these pens, and I'm like, we can keep one.
Yeah, you gotta keep something for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, good
Yeah,
for you.
my son wanted the hat, but I think the hat was important to go with the rest of the uniform, so
Yes.
Yeah.
I gave it up.
Too cool.
Yeah.
And Linda, how did you become involved in history and?
I've always loved history. I moved up to Tehama County, I think it's about 8 years ago now, and had gone to the Manton Apple Festival, which is wonderful. Saw the booth for the Historical Society, and I had literally just moved up here, and I thought, oh, this is something I'd wanted to volunteer for. But I didn't know much about the history of Tehama County, and just the more and more I learn, the more fascinating it is, because I've always been very fascinated with the whole westward movement. And gold mining is important, but just the fact that people came across the country in covered wagons and settled here, what a hard thing that would have been to have done. So I joined the Historical Society, started doing work for them, and now I'm the president of the Historical Society. And in the meantime, again, like I said, started working with the Tehama Museum. So once you start doing that, now I'm their recording secretary too. But it's great because then they can actually know a lot about what's going on with both places, share items that are donated with us to the museum, or we have a lot of people who write to us with different reference questions or history questions. And I've learned enough now where I can say, well, if we don't know this or don't have this information, here's these other people I can put you in touch with. And it's great. We're all nonprofit groups. We all work for free, and thank goodness we're passionate about what we do, because it's so much fun. Yesterday we were out at Civil War Days. They have out here every year in the Cone Park in Red Bluff, and we'll have a table set up there with our books that we have to sell, because we sell history books and memberships to the Historical Society. But just the people you meet, they start telling you about their families, where they're from, they want to show you things, and it's so much fun to do that, to learn. So
And tell us how they have things to donate and getting more artifacts, because one day we will have a museum.
yes.
So is that the goal that the society is working towards, to have a museum?
Slowly but surely. You know what I always think? It sounds terrible that the old library, in Red Bluff is on the market now for I think it's $1 million.
Somebody buy it for
Really,
us.
hello. So anyway, hint about this. It would just be the perfect place to have. And I always think, it would be such a wonderful place to set up shop so that people can come in and actually do research with us. And like I said, when people contact us, and we get a lot of requests for different information, and since there are just a few of us doing all the work, which we love, it can take a little while, but I always wind up learning more, the more you do.
Really cool.
It is. And the Historical Society also publishes, we have another coworker, Josie Reif Schneider-Smith, who writes an article that goes in the paper every week called Tales of Tehama, and every week it's another historical story about Tehama County. So
That's cool.
yes.
I wonder, do you know, Des, if there's grants or something that might be able to help with the purchase of the library?
I'm not quite aware, really. I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of
I
figuring
think a
it
lot of
out.
times I've looked into grants, and it's not so much that they'll do grants that, from my understanding, towards the purchase of a building, but if you have a place, it could go towards the maintenance of that building. But you have to, from my understanding, is you already have to have it. So
Yeah, and we're so small.
yes.
So
And actually, we'd be happy with a very small building.
there's this one building over by where we live.
Yeah.
What is it? The Daughters of...
Oh, the Native Daughters over on Lincoln Street. There is it used to be the Native Daughters of America, of California.
Yeah.
That was their meeting hall. It's an old church on Lincoln Street
It's
in
the
Red
cutest
Bluff.
building. I always thought that would be
I thought so.
perfect for us.
It would be great.
Yeah.
Again, you can cut that part out. But I mean, it's terrible. But we don't get funding from the state of California. It's all, we have memberships to the Historical Society, and when you become a member, there's different types of membership, like this for an individual for a year is $20. But when you do that, those membership funds go towards our production every year. We produce a book called Memories. Every year is different, and it's all local history and different history stories. And so we've been putting those out since 1983. And other than that, donations and memberships go towards just maintaining our website. We have a storage unit, things like that, but just basic things to cover our expenses. So, but it's so much fun. And I always think about that. I get to work. It's great when you work 40 hours a week for free and love it. I really think so. It's a neat thing. So.
And so the library is up for sale just to the public?
Yes, this is the old library, yeah. And it's, I want to say it was the Craft Library.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the Craft Library. It had been a wedding venue for a while, and then it's been
multiple things.
Yes, it's been multiple things because the library is now over on Diamond Avenue. It's been quite a while. They outgrew that building, but it had been a wedding venue for quite a while. But that used to be the town library.
It's a beautiful building.
Yes.
Hopefully whoever does end up purchasing it, but you never know, it might be the society. I just hope that it stays like historical and.
Well, I think there's conditions on the purchase because nobody's been able to do anything with it, like change the base of it.
Okay, good.
It may be one that's on the, I'm not sure if it's on the historical preservation list or not, but if it's not, it should be.
It should.
Yeah.
If you ever have the chance to go see that building, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
What is it right now? Is it just vacant?
Right now it's vacant.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I've been in it a few times. I didn't live here when it was the library, but when they were converting it used to be the House of Design. So I think a lot of people who know Red Bluff, that was a very popular store. It had become this, and that business is still in, it still exists. It's just not located there anymore. But when I first moved here, I thought, oh, what is this magical place, and then when they moved, this wedding, they turned it into a wedding venue, which is really beautiful. And now it's up for sale again. So anyway, goals.
I know, yeah, goals.
Yeah.
One of my friends who's been on the podcast, she has a daycare and learning center, and there's a schoolhouse. It's a historical building in the town of Gray Eagle, and nobody was using it for a really long time. And she got a grant to open a business, and it had to do with something because it was a historical building that she qualified for this grant. And I'm on the board for her nonprofit for that. So I will ask her for some information and I'll send it over. And
I would love that.
Yeah.
That would be great.
And it has to do with it being it's like a restoring a historical building, but she's not like remodeling it, and it wasn't condemned or anything. So it sounds like maybe they just wanted business in that building.
And I would think too, because you wouldn't want a building to stand empty that long. You need to have people in the building, especially it gets a little warm in the North State here. And I could see where if the temperature wasn't regularly maintained or whatever, that could become a problem there. So yeah, that would be interesting to find out about. I had not heard of that.
Yeah, I read somewhere, is it Redding or Red Bluff is the hottest city in California?
I think Red Bluff. I thought it was Red Bluff. Yeah, they're both pretty hot. I have my other goal if we're ever
both miserable during this.
Yeah.
I always thought it'd be fun to have a giant thermometer here on the freeway that says, if you can't stand the heat, get out of Red Bluff.
Yeah, I know it's one or the other. Because I am originally from Sacramento, and I'm like, damn, Sacramento's hot. But then I read, I was like, oh, it's even hotter up here.
It's crazy. My brother lives down in Arizona, in Peoria, which is, and he'll call me and he'll say, it's hotter where you live than it is here, and they're just outside of Phoenix. So anyway, but yes, which is another reason. Again, when we do archival work or preservation, we have to be very aware of that too, and how to preserve things and keep them so they don't disintegrate and fall apart in our extreme weather here. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Do you girls work with anybody that does, like, speaking of keeping it preserved and stuff, with restoration, like art piece restoration? Is there anybody?
We don't. I don't. one-on-one. I think we could, if we needed to, we could find people, because you do meet different people. And actually, we work with some people in the Sacramento museums sometimes. So I don't think it would be that hard to find people, because once you're in that museum and archival community, people just talk and share information. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the roles that you girls have with the board and what you do. So what is like a typical week for you, Des?
Well, my day job is working at the high school, so I work there. But basically, I do whatever Linda needs help with.
What has that been lately? What projects do you girls have going on?
It's the festivals and helping her sell books and talking to people, and basically that's it for me.
Well, that's important.
It's really important. Oh my gosh.
Lug around the heavy stuff.
Well, not just that, but I mean, and honestly, like I said, she's got so much history, and then her husband too. That when he comes and helps, it's wonderful. More than, I mean, for as much as I know, this is like, if you came down to the Bay Area and asked me stuff, I could give you all kinds of, knowledge from growing up there. But I learned a lot from you guys, and
my husband is a treasure trove of knowledge. He knows so much. He used to work at Lassen National Park, and he could tell you anything about that area. And then here too.
Yeah.
He was born and raised as well here in Tehama County.
So both of you together, it's like
the dynamic duo.
Yeah, it's like a historical powerhouse.
Yeah. No, and it's really, really helpful. And Desiree's great, because you can't, you could go out and be at these festivals alone, but it's a lot of work, and you wouldn't think it is, but you're not just setting things up and hauling stuff out, but you'll have a lot of people wanting to talk to you at the same time. And again, asking questions that, like I said, for as much as I know, it's great to have somebody else to help field some of the questions that people ask. I love that. So and I think it's a lot of fun.
Sometimes you get surprised, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I knew that.
Yeah.
Or that I didn't know that. Wait, this is exciting. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but Desiree is great. I'm always telling her I'm going to start giving her boxes of stuff to archive. But since I took over as president, the other lady retired from it. And so I've been doing, it takes a little while to make things, not your own, but, organize the way, I worked in libraries for 20 years. So there's a lot of things that I've thought, I want this to be cleaned up or tidied up or but it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of work. So.
Yeah.
But it's also fun.
So would you say that's the main thing that you're working on right now, is just archive?
Oh, I do a little bit of everything.
She's a powerhouse. All over the place.
Truly, that's what it feels like. Because we also work with the Tehama County Library. Eddie over there in reference, he and I are always going back and forth. If he doesn't know something and I do, or if I'll find out and vice versa, I refer people to him. Like I said, participate on the board here. And help at Kelly Greg still. But anytime people write in and say, oh, we have a question about this or that, it's usually I'll be the first person trying to find information for them or sending them to the right place, setting up different events that we participate in, trying to find things for the right homes. And actually, even this morning, a lady came up from a museum in Sacramento. She'd been up here for the weekend, and they were de-acquisitioning a few things that they're not going to keep there anymore. So this originally came from Tehama County. Do you want these back here? So I've already met with her this morning, and there's some old Chinese vases that will go into our collections, and they're just fun. You just get this, you just learn a lot. But a lot of it is administrative stuff. I could do that all day, because it's a lot of outreach to the newspapers, to different magazines to try to get the word out that we exist. And since we're pretty small, and there are bigger things on people's radar, this isn't always the most important thing, but except for us. But but yes, it's a lot of administrative work. And then of course, when you're a nonprofit, you have to keep your financial documents. You got to file tax forms every year or quarterly or however all that works. And then our other coworker, Josie, does a lot of writing for publishing of books that we produce and sell. That's another way that we make money. But I think we're on the phone every single day. Just, but also, like I said, with other people too, and talking to other people. And when you meet with people who want to share their history with you, that can take up the better part of a day at times.
She's talking to people all the time.
But yeah.
She lives near the school I work, and I'll drive in and out often, and I see her walking her dogs on the phone.
Always, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's mostly for different things for the Historical Society. And it's funny because there'll be a point where I'm like, I don't want to talk on the phone anymore, but you have to do all that outreach. So, but it's fun. So anyway, I would say that's the bulk of it. We do newsletters, of course. We have our Facebook page, we have an Instagram page now. Obviously, we have a website. Josie built that, which is fantastic. That's a really great resource. It's TehamaCountyHistory.com, but it's a great resource. Within, not only do you find our books and you find out about us, but we have a lot of different links there for if you're doing genealogy report or looking for different types of other historical services. That's a great place to go because we've compiled a lot of things. We try to keep local events, historical events up to date on that site, so it's a pretty good catch-all.
How do you feel the community has responded to the museum and just history in general? Do you feel like you get a good reaction?
I think people love learning about it. The Tehama County has like a very long history. Some not so great, but a lot of really cool history as well. So people love learning about that, about where they live. When you find out certain things about the history of your community and you're just like, what? I cannot believe that happened here. Mm-hmm. And it kind of inspires them to look more into it and learn more.
Tehama County is 170 years old this year, and Red Bluff's 150. And while we're not the oldest county, when you think about it, this is a very rural area with not a very huge population, but just so many different important things happened here. That's one thing I would like to see us share that more. And I think it is hard when you're in a small community and it's and to get local government support or state government support, it's a lot of work to get that. I think it's important, and I'd love to see it more. But if you're in an area where there's more money, of course you get more support. So and I don't mean that in a bad way. That's just the reality of it.
It's real.
So. And so I think that a lot of people aren't, for as much as we try to raise awareness about just how great it is up here in terms of history, there's just a few of us doing it on on our own time, just getting the word out. But little by little, it's happening. You discovered us. So.
Yes, I did.
That was huge.
Yeah, I did.
So and we appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, it's great. I always have a great time when I come out here, and it's just so rich in history, and you can just see it and feel it. I feel like it's reflected all throughout the county.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's saying, you said 170th?
For the county is 170 years old.
I mean, considering that America is turning 250 this year, I mean, that's huge because, America was founded way over on the East Coast. So now we're way over on the West Coast. Yeah. And we're going from 250 to 170. I mean, it's been around for a long time.
A long time, yeah.
That's major, I think.
It is. And then when you go over and when you start and I've always loved history anyway, so it's not a new thing, but just going into Sacramento and see this, Red Bluff was the last stop for the ships coming up here, or the boats bringing goods up here, which I didn't know until I moved here. But then if you go down into Old Town Sacramento, you can do tours and they talk about how the boats came up here, and you're like, oh, okay. You get a really good picture of the North State and of things that, to me, and maybe I'm just a history nerd, but I think this seems like it should have more attention and be appreciated more, to me. So, and there are others out there.
Yeah.
Desiree. But yeah.
I think it's so tricky nowadays because everybody's attention span is very short. So it's like I see all these things that I agree with you, like should be like, oh my God, like why isn't everybody talking about this? But it's just so tricky to promote it in a way that will catch that tiny attention span. I think like that's the trick.
I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah,
yes.
It's not just you girls. It's like I see so much of it everywhere, and I'm like, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is like they deserve bigger platforms. It's just like you have to work and find like what will get people's attention to look this way, you know?
Do you know what's funny? I think I joked with you about that for what grabs people's attention. Because, I do some of the posts for the Kelly Briggs Museum on their Facebook page. And I always thought it was so funny. You could talk about anything, and people are like, oh, that's great. If you throw a cat into anything, there's a lot of those cats around there. Like, oh, look, it's the cutest cat. Oh, I think I want to go to the museum. Like, okay, everybody should get a cat. Yeah. It sounds so silly, but people really respond to that. Yeah. Or periodically, it was really neat. They were doing the Red Bluff Roundup happens up here every year, of course, and they have a nice museum too, the Roundup Museum. But a lot of the buildings around here, and it's fun, the older buildings will decorate and have a contest to see, just for different decorations before the Roundup. And I had happened to post a picture of this very old building over on Walnut Street, just because I literally just thought it was cute. I'm like, what a nice job. 400 people now in a little town of it. Wow, this almost went viral. It's so funny, but it was just, I was shocked at of every picture that, these people really reacted to that. Like, it's interesting. You got to figure out what the niche is that gets people's attention.
Well, it sounds like you're on something with the cat.
It sounds ridiculous. I bet. I just thought, just push it up in here. But
we need to hire a teenager.
Yeah. Yes.
Or get them to donate like community service time or something.
We actually, yesterday, it was nice. Like I said, we were at Civil War days, and there was a kid there who goes to the high school, and he was talking about all the different volunteer work he does and how much he likes history. And I thought, wait, you can never move away and go to college. You need to stay here to help us for free.
Yeah.
Exactly. But it was nice too. We met another young man who had just moved here. But when we were at Civil War days, the ladies who work there create a little booklet for the kids, and they have maps and stuff in it, which are great. I love maps, But and activities. But this boy, I think he's like 11 or 12. And just nice, cool kid. But he goes, "Oh, I love maps." And he goes, "And maps are what has gotten me so interested in history." And I thought, this is so great. So whenever you think you're not affecting somebody or reaching somebody, you are. So little by little.
Yeah. And even just like one, because we all know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, sometimes you feel really unappreciated, right? And you're like, why am I even doing this? And it's like, I can't even get funding, right? There's all these negative things, but then it's like, okay, you see one kid that's into maps and it's like wipes all that out.
It does.
Okay, it does. Keep going.
It's true. And it's just like the littlest things like that. That's what you get back, and it's great. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And you work at the school. Do you have anything like historian wise that you do at the school?
No, I work in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. So I know that you said that you should hire a teenager, were you thinking for social media and stuff? I think, do you guys do like senior projects at that school?
Yes.
Maybe someday for their senior project.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I mainly work with the continuation school.
Yeah. Well, and that has a lot of flexibility, right? Because
Yes.
they're not in school all day long, so they can come over here, huh?
Yeah.
And take some videos.
Yeah. And I think it'd be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, to get them, because we've gotten a few of the kids over to Kelly Griggs too to help out for different events. And a lot of times I think now there's also, you got to be able to, they have to be able to have transportation and all that kind of stuff. Those are the kinks you have to work out. But really, if you get somebody who's very interested in it, it's fantastic. And I'd love to see our community leaders become more interested. And which is easy to say, they have a lot to do. So I'm not saying that people aren't doing things, but I always appreciate when there's a little of expression of acknowledgement that there are people in the community who want to see this part of our history thrive too.
Yeah. I think that get some kids out for a senior project.
Yeah.
I think that would be good because they have to do a senior project, right? From what I understand.
I believe so.
Yeah. So, especially if you're already seeing some interest, like with the maps and stuff.
Yeah.
They can find whatever they're passionate about and show their friends. And
do you know they had, there's years ago, I think it was in the 70s, there's a professor, Osborne, who was at Red Bluff High School. And for the students' senior projects, they wrote history papers. They were each given a topic about a different place in Tehama County and Red Bluff. And the library actually keeps a record of those there on hand. And they're really they were written by high schoolers, so you can't take all, I don't know how all the research, how well it was done. And at the same time, they're a wonderful jumping off place to start when you're looking for information about certain things. Mm-hmm. And I've read quite a few of their papers, and these are great. And for me, right now, Elmore Pharmacy over on Walnut Street, I think it's the oldest consistently privately owned pharmacy in the state of California.
Oh, that's huge.
Which is huge, yeah. And so I would like us to have a story about them in our upcoming memories. And I went to the library, and of course, there's a nice paper that somebody had written about them in the 70s. And of course, things have changed, and there's more found out and everything, but a great jumping off point. But that's, like you said, again, what do you spend your time doing? I interview those people, just a lot of it's gathering information and going, when are we going to put all this together?
Yeah.
So,
Josie.
yeah, exactly. We have to give our coworker a lot of credit. Josie does, like I said, if you read Tales of Tehama in the newspaper each week, she is the one who writes those articles every week, and they're historically accurate. She's really hardcore about that. She goes, we want to be able to be respected as a place where people can come to get as the most accurate information you can find. So,
yeah.
And her articles are fun to read too.
She's a great writer.
Yes. People often will come up, oh, it's just Josie work with you. So she can never leave, right?
Yeah. Do they have a Facebook page for Tehama Tales?
No, I noticed the Historical Society does, and I post our articles on there every Saturday.
That would be like a really easy video for a student to do, is just to like read the article while like do a voiceover over videos of like the cool stuff that they're mentioning.
I was thinking about that too. It would be nice I would like to do some sort of a podcast like that, and because it would be a short one, we could do 10, 20 minutes, but but I do think that's another one of the goals.
Right, one of our ideas on the list, right?
I think it would be a bigger idea board,
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's a great idea too, Get somebody who's really, really interested and really wants to do it and stick around and complete a project. It'd be great. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's a good one.
So there's clearly a lot of different stops you could make if you're a history buff. That's the correct term, right? History buff?
Yes.
So Des, what would be like, if somebody was coming to the county and they said, where do I need to go? What would be your agenda for them? Like, oh, you have to go here, here, and here.
I would say you need to go to Kelly Griggs, you need to come here, you need to go to the Anderson Museum, which is an amazing museum.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And start in those areas. Just visit the museums and seeing all the little things that they have out and give you a general history of the area.
This museum, the Tehama Museum, is open on Saturdays from 1 till 4, and then by appointment. And then they are closed for a couple of weeks during the wintertime. And then they also have a Facebook page and a website, but they'll do presentations, at least 4 per season, and they're always great. They're held in this room, actually. Averyville, she was here yesterday, but the place fills up pretty well. All of the events are free. They do ask for donations because, again, they're all donation funded. So, and then the museum itself is the old Mason Hall. So that's it. Just itself, the building was donated by the Masons. I think it was a schoolhouse at one point too. But just the people who work here and give the tours there have lived here a long time, and they really like what they do, and they'll give you, you don't have to take a tour, but it helps when you walk there to learn about things, and they're very passionate about it and love to tell stories. So, but yeah, and then the Kelly Griggs House Museum is open the first and third Sundays of the month. They have Facebook and also on a website, and then they do all kinds of events. They try to do one a month. And then, like she said, the Anderson Museum, I just visited that one recently. Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's another one. And all these places are, I'm not kidding, literally run by volunteers who are dedicated, and it's just a few people. And that museum is you go in, there's an old schoolhouse in back, and around the inside of the schoolhouse, they have photos of all the old schools from the areas, because there were tiny schools everywhere, and it's just so nicely done. It's wonderful. So.
And I think if you want to learn more about the area purchasing our 150 year book, it's a great one.
Nice.
We have the online website.
Yes.
Is it available right now?
Yes.
Yes, and it is one of the coolest books. It has all the different little communities that were here in Tehama County. And they were all within like 10 miles of each other.
Yeah.
There's many of them. Most of them are gone now, but you can see the information, like old pictures, like they all had churches, schoolhouses, saloons.
I think every hotel and every Airbnb in this area should have purchased a copy of that book.
I agree with you. I have brought them copies of our back issues of Memories, and we had another book around Red Bluff in the 1970s. I brought copies there and donated those. The books are $55 each, which I think the profit that we make now is $1 per book.
But they're my favorite book.
They are, and we're working now too. When we republish it, we want to do it in such a way that maybe there's a little bit more of a profit margin, because again, all of that's been volunteer work and research, but it's what I've always called the Bible of Tehama County, because it's the history there, and you can buy those online. We do have a page on our website where we have all our books listed that we sell, and we don't charge sales tax. It's TehamaCountyHistory.com, and there's a section that says Our Books, and we don't charge sales tax. And we can ship them to you too. So we would charge shipping, but it's very easy to buy a book online there. And then when we go to events, the other one, I was going to say, you're asking about places to visit. I know Manton used to be a more thriving community, then it kind of had gotten quiet a bit, and some of the schooling came down here. But there are folks up there who are working to refurbish their museum. And that little museum up there is always hit or miss now, but I think the goal is to get it to be open more.
They're working on it right
I
now.
love that little museum.
It's really
Which
cool.
one is that?
It's up in Manton. And you wouldn't even, they're closed a lot during the winter. It's harder to get there. But if you're in the area, or even if you go, like I said, to the Apple Festival, they'll have it open. But they're really working hard to bring that back and make people know more about it, because there's a huge history up there and Shingletown has their own little museum over there too. But now we need ours.
I think it's doable. I think it can happen.
Yeah.
Especially, $1 profit is crazy.
Yes, that's well, they used to charge, I think when the books first came out, so it's 150th, so it was published at the time of the 150th, 20 years ago, of the county. So, and now we're updating it again. We'll have to bring it up to current, but I think when they printed it, they charged a lot more, and you kind of do saturate the market for a while. There's only 14,000 people in Red Bluff, and I think 60,000 in Tehama County, and we'd like everybody to buy a copy. But anyway,
the responsibility of the community
to know,
be aware, especially like people who are doing tourism here, like the hotels and the Airbnbs. I think that might be your
and that's the thing too. That's the thing that's another thing that I do. Like I said, is I'll reach out to different areas, and a lot of it, like I said, is having it occurred to you one day to go, I should go into this place, or where is there another, and say, do you want to buy a copy of this book, and overseeing all that. So I need to do more outreach that way. For as much as I do, I feel like I need to do more.
The Airbnbs as well.
I love it. Yeah.
I think that'd be a good one.
Yes. Yeah, because it's great to have that reading there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their guests would love it.
Yeah.
And there's that, was it the Hummingbird Hotel that's over on Rio Street? And that's got a nice view of the river over there they should have a copy.
Yes. I'm sure they would love to.
Yeah, like I said, I always thought it'd be nice to have a little booklet in each room or something that people just, because it's nice. Like I said, if you're visiting a place, I like to learn about where I am.
Right. So. Or especially if they're mentioned in the book.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, if somebody came to me and was like, hey, your Airbnb is in this book, I'd be like, oh my God, like, give me 5 of those.
Yeah. That's good. I like that.
Add it to the ideal list.
Exactly. Another idea.
Another idea for
But this is the thing too, like when we go out to different events, like I said, we're at Civil War Days yesterday. We're telling people though, when you're done here, come over to the Tehama Museum. There's an event here, and a lot of it's getting the word out. And it's always funny when people, Tehama's not very big, and people will say, I didn't know we had a museum. And then I think you probably drive by it every day. It's not a big community, but.
Are you like, oh, how did you not?
I know, how do you not know? You have to go.
I think getting the schools more involved.
Yes.
Right.
Bringing the kids to these museums would be a good one too.
Is there anything going on with the school that you're at, like for museum
No.
day or anything? Oh, that's a huge lost opportunity for the school.
Yeah. I think it would be really neat to get the schools involved in visiting all the museums. When I went to school at the high school, there was this thing, an interior design class. One of the coolest things in that class at the end of the year was they took us on the Victorian house walk downtown. And we got to go into a lot of these old Victorian homes. Like these people opened them up for us, and private homes, Airbnb type things. Bed and breakfasts, and we got to go walk in all of them. There's nothing like that now, but I think even that would be really awesome.
Except for Kelly Briggs, but that's not the same. And that's a Victorian home that you can go in. It's not the
but
same
it wasn't
as the
part of
class.
that.
Yeah.
It was part of the downtown, like the Jackson area, where we live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for the county to get like really involved in.
Do you know what's another, you just reminded me too, another nice one. There's a lot, and I hate to overemphasize it, but I wish that we need to be better about reaching out to our community leaders. And for as much as we try, I'd like to get a better response from our community leaders. There's a firehouse on Cedar Street, the Witt Hall Firehouse, which is so much fun to go through. And the gentleman who runs that is named Dom Katona, and he's again one-man band, but they have the old fire trucks there. But we did a thing at Christmas time where we did it for free. We had people come in, you can visit Santa Claus, sit in the fire truck and talk to Santa. And then he will open it up he did actually on the 150th birthday of Red Bluff, he had it open for tours, and we do talk to the school and also homeschooling groups. I'll reach out to them through Facebook, and we've met a few homeschooling moms and said, these are neat ways that you can get out and educate your kids. And they like that a lot. They'll take tours and bring them to Kelly Griggs. We had a group of kids the high school kids who come over, and they're from Italy.
Oh, the exchange students?
The exchange students. They came. It was funny because I was trying to fascinate a group of students from Florence, Italy, and I went, their history is so much older than ours. These kids were great. They were like, this is so great, or that's good, okay.
Their history is what, thousands and thousands?
Yes.
Ancient.
Right. Like, we're 170.
But at the library though too, I just contacted the library at the high school and gave them a set of our memories. Like I said, they go back to 1983. I said, do you think anybody of the kids at the library there who come in and use it, do you have history lovers? And Rosie, I can't want to say Rosa. Rosa.
I believe it's Rosa.
Yeah, it's Rosa at the library. It was like, yes, we'll take them. This is great. So just any little way we could do outreach.
Yeah.
And Desi's a great one to be on campus and share.
Well, and you have an in with the school, so.
Yes.
You know,
I
you
don't
can
know
kind of
Desi,
keep your
but-
eye on the picture. Yeah. Especially like if the community leaders and like if that generation is not really wanting to collaborate, then you can always switch gears and go for the younger generation and
Bring them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we're getting a little interest from some of the leaders. We had a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, actually, it's true. We have a new supervisor who seemed very interested, which is
That's
great.
exciting.
And yeah,
And
like
she
I said,
donated something to
Oh,
us,
yeah.
cool.
which is really cool. Yeah.
and it's not like it's a thing to fault people, because I know there's a lot of
Right.
things going on in the community, but I always think this could really add to promoting our community. And
And tourism and
yes, thank you.
yeah, I mean, and like the Civil War days.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of events that can, I think it's great. I
Yeah.
think it's awesome. The Kelly Griggs House Museum episode, that's been the most popular episode of the podcast.
Oh, it's
Oh,
so
really?
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody loved it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's awesome. And I think you girls need a cat for a mascot and have a senior kid film that cat walking around the museum.
Or her cute little dog.
Oh, yeah, I have a puppy.
Oh.
Yes, who does like to eat shoes though, so we have to be careful. Yeah.
So adorable.
But yes, he's a little honey bunny, but yeah, actually it's true. Like, actually, I
My
could
girl
do.
got a lot of attention yesterday.
Oh yes,
She's
oh,
adorable.
yeah, she's a beautiful dog
My
too.
puppy.
But actually, I could do.
She's half golden retriever and half, who knows?
Yeah. And then, do you have Cocker Spaniel?
I have a I've got 3 dogs. We've got a baby King Charles Cavalier.
Okay, so it is a Spaniel.
So
Yeah,
precious.
and they're all going to be around the 13 to 15 pound size. 3 dogs is more dogs than I ever thought I would have, but this one kind of came into our lives and we couldn't say no. But they're so smart and they're so cute. It's a whole different podcast. Yeah.
I think I've seen a couple pictures. They're super.
Yes, I could do walks in the cemetery with my dog, and just people. It sounds morbid, but little walks in the cemetery are fascinating too. That's another weird thing that happens when you're reading about history and you're meeting people's family. Then I'll think, oh, your relatives over in aisle 5, section 3, which is strange, but it's weird. You start putting this whole puzzle together.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like as kind of a person who moved into the area. For me, I feel like I'm going to school every day and just learning and putting all these pieces together, and it's just.
Well, one of the first things I did after I got that chest was go and find his tombstone,
Yeah.
John Roberts,
Yeah,
and his family, and go visit him.
yeah.
I was curious.
And how amazing is it that you were able to do that?
Yeah,
You know,
it was
what a
super cool.
testament to the history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
And I think it's important. People can know that too. A lot of people will ask us, do we do accept donations of historical items, and when we do that, we archive them and we make them available as quickly as possible. And people will sign forms saying privacy things and all that. We have all the documentation for it. But if people have things where they're like, oh, I don't want to save this, I don't need all these family documents, because it just, for whatever reason you might not want them, we're happy to accept them. And if there's something that don't necessarily go with our collection, because different areas have different, like the Roundup Museum, of course, is all things Roundup, but we could certainly point you in the right direction, say, you know what, we would love this, but it actually might be better at this place. Furniture, Kelly Griggs House Museum, just things like that. And we do that. I find myself doing that a lot. I think as a historian, you want to keep everything, but you have a duty to find the right home for it so it can be appreciated to the fullest, So yes, if people have questions about that, they can always contact us and we can help.
Is there any type of antique roadshow similar event that happens in this
Like
area?
an appraisal day?
Yeah.
They used to have them at Kelly Griggs all the time, and I think they're planning to try to do one this fall and bring it back, because that was a good fundraiser for them. There's a gentleman over in Chico who may come over and do that. I think COVID unfortunately did a number on a lot of things, and so it's been a matter of, again, rebuilding the volunteer pool, getting things open, fixed up, and having it happen, because people loved that event a lot. You can bring something in and have it appraised for, and an appraisal that was worth something. It wasn't just
I have so much I would love to get raised.
There's one coming up, I think May. Yeah, I think it's the first weekend of May over in Plumas County. There's a real small area, it's called Indian Valley.
Oh,
And they do one every year, and it's a really good turnout, and people bring a lot of stuff in. So
wow.
Yeah, if you girls are available, I'll send you the flyer.
Please do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
really
would be
fun.
fun.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you can stay at my house for free. My Airbnb is in the area, so you're welcome to stay there for free if you guys want to come.
Hello. Really, we'll be there.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun. I'm not going to be able to make it, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but I think you could bring your stuff.
Is it a Saturday, Sunday event, or is
I
it?
think so.
Yeah.
And I think it's the first weekend in May, so I'll check for sure and I'll send you the information.
That would be great. Yeah,
Yeah.
please send it. Yeah, May 9th, we're going to be at the Chocolate Festival in Paradise.
Oh, that sounds great.
Which I know, we were thinking, I have not gone to that before, but
Me either.
what could be better? Chocolate, books, history.
Yeah.
This is a win-win-win.
Yeah.
And then it's nice because they're at the airport in Red Bluff, which in itself has quite a history. They used to have a museum that was open to the public. It was upstairs in the airport, and because that's not ADA accessible, it's been temporarily closed down, but they're doing an airport day in, I'll get you the date, in June, I think, but we'll be out there for that too, because they're going to be open all day. And that place is wonderful, and the guys actually it's May 16th, so that's at the airport here in Red Bluff, and they'll be open all day, where you can go look at the little airplanes. I mean, when I say little airplanes,
I believe you get to sit in some of them as well.
Yes, you can,
cool.
yeah.
I took my son, there's something like that when he was really little, and we got to sit in an airplane.
How cool. That
Yeah.
can really shape a kid's mind.
Oh,
Yeah.
he still wants to be a pilot someday.
Yeah. Like,
It's,
that's
yeah.
important.
So we're looking forward to that event. They're doing it in conjunction kind of with celebrating the 150th of Red Bluff, but there's so much, I'm learning the airport history of this area, and that in itself is a whole,
It's a crazy history.
It is crazy.
Super cool.
yeah,
So many different niches available that you could get into.
yes.
There's
Yes.
lots of niches.
Yeah, oh
They
yeah.
had wasn't the airport, our airport was the World War II base for a
Yes,
little bit,
yeah.
That's so cool.
And actually, Tom
like a couple years.
Tom Hanks' uncle, what? I know,
Famous
the actor Tom Hanks.
Hanks.
The Tom Hanks.
The Tom
His
Hanks.
mother used to live here.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I have written to him, Tom, we're still waiting for an answer.
Tom, we need funding for a museum.
Exactly.
Buy it for us, please.
Yes, Tom Hanks, if you're watching this,
Years
run me my money.
Years ago, I saw him on the Ellen DeGeneres show. And he mentioned Red Bluff to him. 7 days. So, you know. So, like I said, I've written a couple letters and said we would make you an honorary member of the Historical Society. Still waiting for a response, Tom, but
Tom.
just, it's a neat opportunity. We're very cool. So,
Is his mom's house a museum or anything?
I forgot if it was his aunt who he stayed with, or no, but not a museum. But I think his uncle. There was a photo over at the airport museum because his uncle was in the service, and the resemblance is uncanny. I guess this gentleman is related to Tom Hanks. So, so anyway, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Name droppers, you got to do that when you can, I guess. Actually, so if anybody else knows their history, Civil War history, it was interesting because we had somebody comment on our Facebook page yesterday because I posted pictures of the Civil War days, and somebody had said, well, what does California have to do with the Civil War? And a lot of the gold that was found here in California was used, money from that gold, to fund the Union during the Civil War. But anyway, so the little story is that John Brown, the very famous abolitionist, anti-slavery gentleman who was a little bit of a radical during the Civil War. After he was killed, his wife and some of his kids came across the country. That in itself is a whole story that they did a presentation on here, which is amazing. But the people of Red Bluff built a house, which is over on Main Street, that to house the family for a while. And you think, and Red Bluff really has an interesting history in that. Lots of people were pro-South, a lot of people were pro-North, but they built a home for the widow Brown and several of her family members. There's a painting, I think we showed you that hangs in the Kelly Griggs house that their daughter painted. And but anyway, it's a neat little piece of national history that lives right here in town that not a lot of people are aware of. So anyway.
So we've name dropped Tom Hanks.
Yes.
We've done a lot of brainstorming for some ideas.
Yes.
And we've covered a lot of different cool historical sites. What do you hope is next for the society, or what exciting plans do you have that you'd like to share?
A home base.
Yes.
That is, I think, our biggest goal.
Yes.
We would love to see.
Because it would be nice to be able to bring people into it. We do now meet people at the library, which is wonderful. They're always very accommodating, but it would be nice to have our own home base.
Show all of the things that we've collected over the years, sell all of the books. I mean, we have so many books available on history around here. And all
be able
the, a research area.
Yes, and continue.
All of our documentation.
Yes, and to continue to build on that. It
Yeah.
would just be fantastic. It's a dream. So we did decide that we need to play lottery more often or something, but
We keep saying that and we
yes,
never do.
we never do. But yeah, and it's just there's a lot of people out there who are interested, the goal is to keep that going. So I had brought in some information that there had been a historical society years ago, back in 1930, that was started. And a lot of people who know any of the local historical names that got together, but there were people here who were very interested at the time in preserving our history, did that for quite a while. And I was thinking, why would that have stopped? But of course, there was World War II, there was all kinds of things going on. There was a little bit of a resurgence of a historical society in the 1960s, and then this version of it was basically born in 1980. So we've gone on for quite a few years now and want to keep it going. It's important. So, and then, like I said, working in collaborations with this other groups is so much fun. You really meet some interesting people. So,
Anything else that you girls would like to share or spread awareness for in the community, or if any locals are watching?
I think, like I said, all the events that we attend, that even if we're not there, of course, is the Corning Olive Festival, the Manton Apple Festival. They're trying to get the Dairyville Festival back again this year. We'll be at the airport, and we will be at the Chocolate Festival, which
Buy our books.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, to come see and to learn about your area here. It's I think people, honestly, for as much as people love and appreciate their home, they think, oh, we're on a nice treasure place here. It's beautiful.
We have a very wild and crazy history here.
Yes.
Learn about it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's
Girl in the box.
Yes. Girl in the box. You don't even want to.
What's going on in the box?
That's a darker history. Actually, he just came up. Wasn't he? He just come up
The
for parole
serial-
again. There's a gentleman.
What was his name?
I know, he just came up in the paper where a young woman had hitchhiked and took a ride with this man and his family, and then was basically held, God, for how many years? It's over on Oak Street here in Red Bluff, but, and ultimately got out. Okay, so that's the short, yeah, she did, which is amazing.
Okay, let's end on a positive note.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, let's end on a positive note. But that piece, so again, some of our history is a little bit more wild than other history,
Right.
but it's important to know. And
Yeah, it's a wild story.
Yes.
And thankfully she's out, she's healthy, she's, from what I'm aware of, doing good now. And
but
she goes to all of the parole hearings and stuff, fighting to make sure he never gets out again.
Oh my gosh.
It's a big deal. It was a national story.
yeah,
Lots to learn here. A lot.
that's just one little tidbit. But that's and it's not all that dark, but there are some dark things. So, but that's
There's
probably
some really cool things.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's just a reality of history. There's
It
some
is.
stuff that not everybody's proud of, and
Oh yeah.
there's some stuff you learn from, but it's still important to be able to look back on that and say, yeah, we're trying to do better now.
Yeah. I think we would invite people to, like I said, visit our website, TehamaCountyHistory.com. I would invite people to, honestly, to look at the Kelly Griggs website, the Tehama County Museum website. They let us come in and sit in their building today.
Yes, thank you
Yes,
for
thank
letting
you,
us film here
Tehama
today.
County
Thank you.
Museum.
Yeah.
And these people are great too. They've been working on this for years, and it's another fountain of knowledge. And they'll have posted on their website all their upcoming events and history, and just, there was a gentleman, Bandit, actually, Black Bart, who, there'll be a talk on him here this summer where this guy would rob stagecoaches, but he was a gentleman. He was always very kind. Oh, thank you for giving me all your jewelry. See ya. So they're going to do a presentation about that, and there's just, to me, it's fascinating. So anyway, I think I've stressed that enough.
Anything else that you girls would like to share?
Just, I think, get involved in your history and learn about where you are.
You never know where you'll end up.
Yeah.
Learn.
And if you have questions, you can reach out to us, like I said, on our website or our Facebook page, and we'll help you as much as we can. We'll try to steer you in the right direction. So
Linda loves doing that.
I do. I do too much, and thank you though for it really. And I learned something from everybody. It's great. So yeah.
And volunteer. If you have the capacity to volunteer, I
Yes.
think volunteering is really important.
Yeah. I think
For sure.
one other thing too, I would have to say that there are a few people who I have worked with, a lot of people I've worked with, like I said, COVID kind of, some people didn't make it, but anyway, I've really made some great friends, older members of the community who are very generous with sharing their history, and they're happy to have somebody who's interested in listening. And I really appreciate them, and I go to them for help too, so anyway.
Well, it was lovely meeting you. You did great. I know you're a little nervous. You did great. And Linda, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
We have the upcoming Women of Plumas County Expo August 9th. I think it's going to go really well, and I'm excited to expand on that. And if I do, you're going to be the first people I call. I would love to have you there. And then you can bring like some artifacts or whatever you'd like to bring.
It'd be so much fun.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, Plumas County has a lot of history, so imagine like combined forces.
It would be amazing.
Yeah.
It would be a
And I don't
force
know
to be
much about
reckoned with.
Plumas County, so it'd be fun to learn about.
Yeah, I don't either. And you know, I'm sitting here like, you have a duty, and I'm like, okay, I need to.
Now you know that you need it.
Yes, exactly.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, because we have some really cool museums out there. I haven't been to one, so I'm going to practice what I preach. So I am going to start going to the museum.
We're all learning together.
Yes, we're all.
And actually, you reminded me of one other thing. This fall, it'll be in September, they do a big history rendezvous day here at this museum, where a lot of other museum sources come in here to one central location. So it's a neat way for people to come in.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool. They have lunch here. It's like 4 or 5 hours.
It's a big deal.
They do a bunch of prizes, they have music, and they encourage people to come in and visit the museum. And it's a really, that was the thing they used to call it the Jubilee. And again, COVID was rough on the area, but every year it's been growing back again and getting bigger and bigger.
And it's like a collaboration with museums.
Yeah, they invite all these museums to come out, set up tables.
Is there still room? Because I know a couple people on the board for the Taylorsville Museum.
Oh yeah, you know,
I'm sure
have them
there is,
reach out here. That would be great.
Yeah, if I can get the information for that. We got lots of information.
Yes, we do. We have a lot of information.
So like, share, subscribe.
But if you
got
have
ideas.
some too, reach out to us, please.
Yes,
So,
reach out. They love getting information. Very well knowledgeable, passionate women. So thank you both for your time.
Thank you for your time. I
Have a
appreciate
wonderful
it.
day, girls and
Thank
gentlemen
you.
watching.
All right, bye.